in love with by an artist named Thomas Dolbaum. It's called Angus Valley, and it's kind of talks about his experience in like the deep South in North Carolina. And I kind of wrote a spin-off off of that song about a kid who grew up in the same city. Yeah, just kind of like a storyline that I had a lot of fun writing, and I hope that you guys can enjoy it, listening to it. But the song's called Saluda. We were 50 miles from Kansas, Cody's face down on the mattress from the show the band last night had. They were bluegrass till the died, man, and the drinks were half-cut price. North town, it seemed real nice to be around. We were a ways from Carolina. It was Patterson's idea to pick up the cheapest truck. Jimmy rig and fix it up. Set out to the plains and prairies, find some meaning in that dairy that wasn't home. Wake up, Cody, pluck those nylon strings about that Dylan song when we left town. We're still young, we're just rambling around from the Appalachians to that dusty ground. And my mom, she started calling for the first time since we all did. I recall those cuts and bruises she left with me in my youth, and she's the reason why I banded up boys and got the hell out of Saluda. And Cody's stories is the same, but his old man is good to blame. Rather play cards all by himself, step a foot inside that house and kick the dust to Carolina. Watch the sunset in the state west of the Mississippi. Wake up, Cody, pluck those nylon strings about that Dylan song when we left town. We're still young, we're just rambling around from the Appalachians to that dusty ground. From the Appalachians to that dusty ground. From the Appalachians to that dusty ground.
Are you ready? I am ready. Oh my God, I think so. Hi. Here we go. Hi, my name's Cassandra Johnson. I'm currently living in St. Paul. I grew up in North Dakota, Mott, North Dakota, itty bitty little town. I also play guitar in a band called Astronomy Town. We're an instrumental group, so it's actually like pretty rare for me to play on acoustic. So tonight I'm kind of debuting like 2 songs that have never been heard by anyone before, except my voice memos. So that's fun. I'm playing in this like fun alternate tuning because it's like a fun way for me to get inspired. I wrote this one thinking a lot about like consumerism and like fast-paced world and kind of like missing like the slower pace of being young or maybe growing up like on a prairie, and like it was okay to just like sit around a fire on an evening and you didn't have to be like doing anything necessarily. Yeah, so that's the song. This is called Chickadees. I'm gonna start that over. Again, these have never been debuted, so bear with me. Here we go. Envy just might be our demise. Desire what we see through sunken eyes. Gadgets made for a life of ease, taking residency. Just one more please and I'll be complete. was a time, and I want it back, when there was no lack, and I was content watching the chickadees. Nothing to do, just be the sweetest fruits you'll eat. No golden foil could compete. Everything is interesting. My webs are being spread in all obsessions. Never satisfied, and I know your thirst, but this early bird is tired of worms. Measure the worth, shattered pleasure, connect to the earth, and lean into leisure, telling a story, or a silent fire with company, stray from the recipe, when you're making your friend something. Hell yeah. That rocked.
Really good.
Joe, all yours.
Perfect.
Yeah, Joe.
All right. My name's Joe Weckworth, and thanks for being here. Thanks for putting this on. This is a really cool thing, and I'm lucky to be able to play with a bunch of other great songwriters here. So I currently live in St. Peter, Minnesota, and I've kind of been playing around down in southern Minnesota a little bit, but sort of new to the whole cities thing. So I feel lucky to be here. I am working on, done a couple of things. I've played in an indie rock band called Let's Be Kids, who Jonathan was the bassist of over here. Thanks for being here. And done a couple of things, but for the last couple of years I've been doing kind of a solo folk Americana thing, and just really thinking about songwriting, and it's what I love to do. So over the last couple of days, well, longer than the last couple of days, over the last month, I started writing a new song. That's taken me probably a month to get done, and it wrapped itself up here about yesterday, or maybe earlier today, if if you're being technical about it. So I'm going to give it a shot, and we'll see what happens. It's called Horizon Line. Searching for something, drifting across the sea, maybe catch a whiff from that Caribbean breeze where the sun and the moon hang suspended at the same time. where dead men left treasure. I've been hot on their trail, I've been searching for that Holy Grail. Follow Davy Jones down to the bottom, see what he left behind. Well, I've scoured the small towns and bright colored ports and the carpenter shops and the shiny billboards. I drank wine with the president, big down the street for scraps. Made land on gold beaches where doves come to nest. I've been so deep in love I can hardly rest, looking out to the distance where the sunlight just falls off the map. 'Cause it's out there beyond the fog and the mist, where the spray from the sea greets the sky with a kiss. Stay fast your post, keep your eyes peeled and search for a sign. It's the right hand at dawn, and the truth and the way, where God came to rest on the seventh day. Cast your prayers to the depths now, it's on the horizon line. Cast your prayers to the depths now, it's on the horizon line. Well, the ancient tribes called it land of the gods, El Dorado and Camelot, where the silver gates shine like a bride who's been dressed for a groom. And there's few that remember, still less who believe. I know everyone's frightened of being deceived, and you can't hide it with titles, you can't hide behind fancy perfumes. Scrawny dog in the dockyard, all covered in fleas, sticks his nose in the scraps, spit ashore by the sea. But it's well understood, down here anything goes for a dream. And I won't say that it's right, won't put words in your mouth, but I've been touched by love without any doubt, and it goes on before me like the leaves getting caught up midstream. 'Cause it's over the ways where the sun comes to rest, where the darkness is cursed and the weary are blessed. You push on ahead, looking backwards, make up your mind. It's the taste of the sea breeze, sweet on your lips, and the promise of pleasure and happiness, looking out o'er the water, out on the horizon line. Looking out o'er the water, out on the horizon line. But the road head trembles, it's dark and perplexed. I've seen bombs in the valley, heard shots below the deck, heavy clouds rolling in, and there's no sign of blue sky in sight. And I've followed the course out so far from the land, I wish I could comfort you now, but I can't. The wind cries for mercy, the ship tosses and turns in the night. I remember 10 years old catching fish from the boat. Grandpa would rip out the hooks from their throat. It ain't pretty sad, but sometimes that's the way that life goes. So stack the logs in the fire, watch them shift as they burn, as the geese fly south and seasons turn like the Gulf Stream flows with the wind up from Mexico. It's a beacon that shines from a lighthouse and shore, breaking the weather, the eye of the storm. It's a picture of innocence, of blue and green water divine. where the vagabond outcast can lay down his head and rest till the dawn on a soft feathered bed. To his troubles behind him, out on the horizon line. To his troubles behind him, out on the horizon line. Now I watch from the table as the shadows grow long and the clock on the wall goes on beating a song and laments to the silence. The candlelight flickers and dies. The wind casts her hand across the waves to the west, and the timing is nigh. If you need to confess, come now, say it to me. Be your witness, the sea and the sky. 'Cause it's out there beyond the fog and the mist, where the spray from the sea greets the sky with a kiss. Stay fast your post, keep your eyes peeled, search for a sign. It's the right hand of dawn, the truth and the way, where God came to rest on the seventh day. Cast your prayers to the depths now, it's on the horizon line. Cast your prayers to the depths now, it's on the horizon line. Thanks.
And the best way possible, that's the whole book.
It takes almost as long to listen to.
That was incredible. Thank you guys for an awesome first round. I forgot to mention at the start of the second round, I asked all the songwriters a question and then start brainstorming because before their third song, you guys get to ask some questions. And don't go easy. I feel like this crew can really handle some hard hitters. They seem media trained to me, they're ready to go.
I'm an open book. Ask me anything.
So I will be asking the songwriters the same question.
Okay.
Just because something I really like to know about musicians. So you're getting thrown into it, and then you guys all.
You guys get to prepare your answer, where I get to.
Handle it.
Okay.
I want to know if you can remember how old you were when you wrote your first song.
Oh.
I'm gonna ask. It's sort of like a three-parter.
Okay.
So do you remember how old you were when you wrote your first song?
Officially, I would have to say 23 years old,
Okay.
24,
Incredible.
living in a studio apartment in Uptown on 22nd and Aldrich.
Wow.
The song's called Alone, and it's a breakup song. But it turns out to be a happy song because if we hadn't broken up, I wouldn't have written the song.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, I'm so curious then, because like being in your 20s and your first song, like, was it the breakup that you're like, I'm feeling so much, I just have to get this out somehow, or what got you? You're like, I'm gonna start writing songs.
I'm going to start writing songs because I had learned the guitar around that same time, and I was like covering Indigo Girls and Ani DeFranco, and yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it was the 90s.
Hell yeah, it was.
Yeah, Sarah McLachlan, yeah, Sheryl Crow, yeah.
Okay, my second. Well, I guess I already asked you the second part, but
Okay.
If you had to guess how many songs you've written since then,
Oh,
an estimate.
yes, a lot. 100?
100.
I think 100. A lot of them are very dusty.
Yeah, incredible.
Yes.
And then I like to know how songwriters write their songs. Like, do you write them in a notebook? Do you write them in your phone? Voice memo always first? Like, what's your method?
It's usually a voice memo on a hike. Yeah, being outside and walking gives me the rhythm, and then my mind is able to wander or process something. The songwriting prompt group is really helpful to kind of get some things started. Yeah, but it's usually on a hike, voice memo, and then I get home and I listen to it and I'm like, that's shit. And then I try to elaborate from there. And that's when I sit down with my computer.
Okay.
And I figure out my guitar parts, where is the melody pushing the chord progression. Usually I write the chorus first, and I type things up because I get interrupted, and then it's saved. But then I have the thesaurus up and the rhyming dictionary up.
Rhymezone.com.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's incredible. I feel like there's like a million ways to write a song, but I've never heard that someone's like first. And mine's always notes app first, like an idea, a sentence.
Okay.
But I've never heard like on a hike and the rhythm comes to me first from a lyric.
Yeah, and I'm usually listening to other music.
Yeah.
And then something then triggers, and then I turn all the music off, and I'm hiking, and I'm singing in my phone, and then saying hello to strangers.
So cool. I love that. Incredible. Tell us about this next song you're gonna sing.
I have some new songs, and I was struggling on deciding which to do next. But I think we were all in the lobby talking about January and the awful thing that happened to our beautiful city. And I wrote one song in 2026. I've been really busy. I released a little EP with my son. He did all the instruments, and that was really fun in my home studio. But January was really, really tough. And so tough I was able to write a song. And it was debuted with my tribute trio band called Heartland Souvenirs, with Nikki Lemire on harp and Becky Schlegel on guitar. I mostly play mandolin in that band. And we do mostly covers, John Prine, Dolly Parton, Joni Mitchell. And we were nominated for an MCMO award. Yay. Got another MCMO member here. Midwest Country Music Organization. It's fantastic. Do you know it? Do you know about it? You need to know about it. Maybe not the jazz guitar player, but yeah. But we played this for the first time for an audience in March, and we'll see if the recording is good. Maybe I'll use it for something. Okay, it's called January Thaw. Cold holds my breath, no sound except my steps on sidewalks stained with salt. Street light keeping watch for no one. I try not to think about what's been done. I shut the door and throw the bolt. The river considers letting go before it remembers why it froze, waiting on a January thaw. The craving feeling of needing a break from it all. Even the dark is tired of holding on, waiting on a January thaw. Hope, a small word on paper, easy to lose like winter vapor. Still it carries so much weight. Buried deep, half undone, searching for a puddle of sun, somewhere my soul can hold a bit of light. The warmth loosens up the memory, just enough to breathe, waiting on a January thaw. dark is tired of holding on, waiting on a January thaw. January thaw. Thank you.
But I just I feel like standing right here. I don't know, I'm good. It's good for me. I sit all day. Are you ready?
Yes.
You're never gonna believe
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no clue.
How old were you when you wrote your first song?
Ooh, wow. I didn't see that one coming. I was probably 6 or 7. No jokes. Seriously.
It led you to that.
It was so, my family, I don't know if it was like, I had the perception of us being like weird days or bad days or whatever, but I was like, every day felt weird, so I was like, I made up a song, I was like, I want to have a regular day.
Wow.
And the tune went like, I want to have a regular day. I want to have a regular day. I want to have a regular day today. And that was it. And that was the first song. Yeah. And I think my brother might remember that too. I don't know. Do you remember that sound?
I hope regular days came.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there definitely was more after that, I think.
You show it, case it in the living room. Say, guys, something has to give.
Yeah. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. How many have you written, do you think, since you were 6?
Probably, I mean, like, it's really ballpark, like memo, like you were saying, Katie, but probably like close to that, like 100, maybe 150.
I'm really old.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say anything about that, but yeah, you know, I probably, yeah, like 100, 150. Yeah. Yeah. It comes in waves though. I feel like you guys could probably like relate to that, but like waves of like, you have write like 5 songs in like 2 weeks, and then it's like nothing for like 3 months. So it's like a compilation of those kind of like times. So, yeah.
Then where do you start your songwriting process? Is it always one thing? Where? I guess iPhone, Android,
Yeah.
Samsung.
I would say the songs I like the best that I've written have been I've just written it and then I add my guitar and singing to it. However, I feel like what I like to do and something I've kind of like tried experimenting with is like listening to a song I like and then copying the same rhythmic pattern like you were talking about and then adding your own kind of like obviously your own writing to it, but then also changing the melody. So that kind of helps like spark like a creative, it kind of gets you out of like the gutter a little bit of like writing, you know? So I've tried that, and that's what I do. And then, but yeah, the songs I've liked the most I've written first before adding. But like getting a chorus kind of in your head. But most of the time I just start with the verse, to be honest, like for writing process. But and then just kind of see where the song takes me and whatnot. So yeah.
I love the idea, both of you so far. It's like no guitar in hand. You gotta just get the other stuff out first. I love
Right.
that. Very
Yeah.
neat. Tell us about this song you're about to play.
This song I wrote a little over a year ago. It was a song it was like a random like just weekend day, and I was just kind of thinking about the highs and the lows of life, and just how drastic each day can be. You know, especially for I feel like a songwriter. You know, you kind of take each day as its own, and it's like the highs and the lows of one, and like realizing the differences between the two, but not getting too caught up in it either, you know, because that's life and that's what everybody experiences. So like this song is kind of like saying like it's okay, like if you don't have a good day, and it's okay if you have a high, because you know, everybody wants to be consistent and needs to be consistent in order to be normal, regular day. But yeah, this song is called Saturday, because I just didn't have parentheses Lake of the Isles, because I wrote it when I was walking around Lake of the Isles. Okay.
Take everything on slowly. Call your mom and dad on lightly hearted Saturdays. Reflect on all the bad. Let the coffee burn your tongue and let the sunshine come on through. Slid into place between the veins into the living room. Get some rocks inside your shoes. Find some good you're scared to lose. Go to work on Tuesday morning, singing old time 60s blues. Get a flat and call a cab to spend some cash you never had. With her nose pressed on the window and that money in your hand. Oh, the pennies flipped into the fountain and the whiskey. Some folks will drink and drown since the world can prove us wrong. Song after song. 'Cause if you really want to live, you gotta hurt sometime. Never say the words you're supposed to when you kiss up in the car. Let your heartbreak be a symphony for a jukebox at the bar. Let the pain spread out and ruminate into your brittle bones. Then find a friend who's had the same to know you're not alone. Get a splinter in your finger, let it bleed down to your wrist. Get a dried up bloody bracelet and a hemoglobin kiss. Let it burn when you pour hydrogen peroxide on that wound. Slap a band-aid on that knuckle that you cut and call it good. And though the pennies flipped into the fountain and the whiskey, some folks will drink and drown it since the world done and prove us wrong. Song after song. 'Cause if you really want to live, you gotta hurt sometime.
I could have gone with another chorus.
Yeah, holy moly. I love
That hook. Go with another chorus. Stretch it out. Get us some more.
We want more of that song. Just
Yeah.
we want more.
Yes.
Cassandra, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great.
So
Thank you.
good. Yeah.
It's the best night of my life. Today.
What a dream.
I have a lot of regular days. This one's pretty good.
And it's not even a Saturday. That's great.
You will not believe that I'm about to ask you.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Cassandra, how old were you when you wrote your first song?
So I've been trying to like figure out the actual answer to this one. I think like if we're talking about like a song beginning to end, I was probably 24. If we're talking like just a little kid, like I have a memory of me walking around the playground like writing a chorus in my head. Like I don't want to play games with these kids. I just like was off like by myself, just like walking in circles trying to get these words to make sense. And then I like went home and like wrote it down. But I'd say, so there, that was like mystery age. I have no idea. But first like formal song, I think like I was 24, probably. Yeah. Yes. And I forgot the other ones actually. What's the next?
I forgot. I'm kidding. How many since then do you think?
Oh, okay. What's funny is I actually did like, I have too many that I wanted to organize them between like songwriter things, and then I write for an instrumental group. So I'm like, I need to organize all of this stuff. I made like a spreadsheet of all the songs, which ones were complete, which ones are work in progress, which ones are recorded, which ones are close to being recorded, and that is almost at 200.
Incredible.
So too many for how little recording I've done. So around there.
It's fun to do that. We just did that too, and it was kind of scary.
It's scary, and you kind of have a moment of like, okay, I'm doing all right. Like it's all right if I have a couple weeks where I don't write something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do you start your songwriting process?
That one, it's like usually with terrible posture, just me and my guitar, and like the lyrics come at the same time as the guitar parts typically do. it's pretty rare for me to write one separately. And if I do, it's really hard for me to like turn it into something. If I have a guitar riff that I want lyrics over, it's maybe happened twice where I've actually been able to put lyrics over it. And if I don't, then that turns into like an instrumental song.
I guess as
yeah.
an instrumentalist, it must exist in like this could and is most times like a finished product. It must be hard to like put it into the other box. once it's there.
Exactly. I've had a couple where like I bring it to the band and I'm like, this was supposed to be a songwriting song, and they're like, we can tell. But I think that like helps with our sound like a little bit. And then once I'm like you guys get it, like when you're songwriting, you kind of get into like this like nothing else is happening. Once I come out of that, then it's like voice memo. I just need to like track exactly what I did, and then I don't listen to it for like 2 or 3 days and just let it be away from me, and then I come back to it and be like, okay, what was that fever dream, and do I like it? Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask another question. I'm sorry.
Yes.
As a fan of your band, Astronomy Town,
Thank you.
really cool band. How do you guys write songs? Like, is it a bunch? Is it usually just you bringing ideas, or is it everyone bringing ideas and you workshop them together?
Yeah, it's usually one of us will bring an idea, whether it's like a complete like front to back song, or in my case, it's usually like a riff. And I'm like, here are 3 riffs that I want to be in the same song. Let's now like write around that and like make it like, how are we gonna write the transitions together? Or I'll like have an idea of like, I know I want the keyboard to do this, but like you take that little seed and run with it. So we don't usually write in the rehearsal space. Usually one of us will bring something, and it's like kind of the same 3 of us will bring something, and then we'll kind of write around that, which is fun. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for letting me have a bonus.
Totally.
Tell us about this song.
So this song, we're gonna get sad for a little bit. I wrote this one in kind of a tough time, just like personally, I guess. I don't know if anyone else can relate to having been told in your life that you can be a lot or too much, and that stuff can like, ouch, you know, a little bit. Like, we're all just trying our best out here, and like I just want to be my true self, you know, without being like told you're like, be quiet or you're too much. So this song kind of like stemmed from like that feeling of being too much and being like aware of it too. Like you don't want to then be too much to people and you hold yourself back, but then that's not fair to yourself. So don't do that, because then you're gonna implode, and that sucks. So this one also has never been heard before, but it's going to be on my album, which I'm currently tracking right now. This song is called Easy to Love, Hard to Adore. That's really sad to say it out loud. All right, here we go. Sharing well over the brim burns my mouth like molten. How could you even hold it? Infinite keeps flowing. What hill will I die on? What thrill will be enough? I'm easy to love, hard to adore. Lose myself in something good. Please show yourself. Sink until surface calms, then drink me up. What home will be? What home will be solid? When will you leave? When will you leave wilted? I'm easy to love, hard to adore.
I adore you.
Love a sad song. Okay, Joe.
All right.
Closing out the second round. You have no clue what to ask you.
Uh-oh. What are you talking
What if it
about?
was different this time? That'd be messed up. That'd be messed up. Quick question. How old were you when you wrote your first song?
I think I was probably like, I don't know, 15 or 16 or something like that, as a part of a classic rock cover band, middle school classic rock cover band. You know, to play in between Boston and the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a cover band, but you said, let's cover one of my songs.
Yeah.
Did they go
Well,
for it?
somebody had to write the song. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, how many do you think you've written since then?
I definitely less than all these folks. I do not think that I've written 100 songs. It's really hard to say, and I start a lot of songs. I think probably most people do. I start a lot of songs without finishing them, and finishing them has been, you know, an exercise of like, no, you cannot just keep starting songs and never finishing them. Like, learn to finish your songs, because that's a different muscle. To finish a song than to start one, you know, as I'm sure you guys can probably relate to. So I bet I've written, I don't know, I've probably written 50 songs,
That's an incredible amount of songs.
probably.
That's like 5 full-length albums.
Yeah, well, thank God they're not. Yeah,
There is some, letting yourself write a bad song is hard.
Oh, yeah.
Pushing through and just be like, I know this one's not gonna ever go anywhere.
you just gotta finish it.
That's tough.
Yep, just finish it.
What does writing a song look like for you?
Well, it looks a little different all the time, and I like to always try and push my songwriting process forward, and keep trying new things. But most of what I've learned is that what I need to do is sit down with a notebook and just sit and think and think and think and think and think, and then write something down and then scratch it out.
Words.
Yeah, exactly, and keep going. But a lot of times the start to a song, at least the songs that end up going anywhere, will start while I'm driving, especially listening to a new artist that I really like, because everybody's got their own sound, and something that somebody will say will make something new happen, you know, new and exciting happen. And so I'll either take a voice memo or jot something down, and then maybe 5% of the time I'll come back to that. But most of my process then is just sitting there, and one of the things that I learned is that I need time to write songs. I need to be able to sit for long periods of time, and if you try to finish a song in half an hour, it's just not probably gonna happen, but most of the time. But it looks a little different. It looks a little different all the time.
Tell us about this song. How long did it take you to write this one?
This one happened pretty quick, maybe pretty much in an evening.
Okay.
Yeah, and but it's called Bull Rider Blues. It's about twice as long as the last one, so no, I'm kidding. It's not. Nobody worry. Yeah, so this is Bull Rider Blues. Hopefully it's kind of a fun one. My girl, she's meaner than a bull, babe. She's got me dancing between them horns. My girl, she's meaner than a bull, babe. She's got me dancing between them horns. She comes charging my direction. I best go praying to the Lord. My girl, she's meaner than a bull, babe. She's got me dancing between them horns. My girl, she's meaner than a bull, babe. She's got me dancing between them horns. She comes a charge in my direction. I best go praying to the Lord. You know she's tougher than a boxer. She's nearly twice as tall as me. You know she's tougher than a boxer. She's nearly twice as tall as me. She really sets my heart pounding. She surely stings just like a bee. She's got her mind made like a soldier. She's got me down upon my knees. She's got her mind made like a soldier. She's got me down upon my knees. We ain't going out to war here, babe. They took that way out east. Well, if you wanna be so mean, babe, why don't you find someone to fight? And if you wanna be so mean, babe, why don't you find someone to fight? But if it's me you're looking for, babe, I best be ducking out of sight. Well, you may say that I'm a bull rider, but I'm just barely clinging on. You may say that I'm a bull rider, but I'm just barely clinging on. Just throw me 10 feet in the air, babe, I might be landing in the pond. And when 10,000 years have passed, babe, they won't remember me no more. And when 10,000 years have passed, babe, they won't remember me no more. They might put her in a museum just for the size of them horns. Nice. Thanks.
That was cool as fuck. I laid that one at our wedding. Oh my god!
The drama.
That's on video. Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, what a way to go out the second round. All right, we're on our third and final round.
I'm gonna have my lyrics here.
Absolutely. Could I hold them up? Yeah. Okay. Does anybody
This
have a
guitar's gorgeous.
guitar? This is a beautiful array. I love that guitar strap too. I don't know.
When in doubt, sparkles.
Okay, questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you could collaborate with one artist today or tomorrow, the way she
Dolly Parton.
Incredible.
Yep. I'm not like a huge fan of like her whole library, but oh my goodness. And she seems to be a really collaborative type of person. So yeah, I think I could learn a lot. How about you? You're a musician.
Probably Paulo Nutini
Oh,
or Ray LaMontagne, I think. Ray LaMontagne, I think. Dolly, maybe. Dolly would be just as fun.
yes. Good question. Yeah.
Probably already answered it, but who's your favorite artist?
Oh, I have a lot. Like quick answer would probably be the Indigo Girls. And I would sing Emily's part so I could be like sing with Amy. Yeah, but my voice is more like Amy's. Yes. Did you see the Barbie movie?
I actually haven't.
Okay, well, Closer to Fine is the hit song in that. So if you don't know who the Indigo Girls are, do you know who the Indigo Girls are? Okay.
Any other questions for Katie?
I've written 2 books. Anybody wants to learn how to self-publish, I could help guide them on that.
I have a question for Katie.
Yes, Cassandra Johnson.
You started playing guitar and songwriting in a time that was much different than for us.
Yes.
And did you ever, as like a woman, feel like you had to be a certain way,
Yes.
or you had to, like whether that was your songwriting or the way you presented yourself, and like how have you overcome that to just be so like authentically you now?
Well,
Loaded question.
turning 50 is really amazing.
Yes.
Because you give no more fucks. So, but when in my 20s, definitely it was tough. There were lots of people to compete with, and usually the white guy got the gig. I don't think that's changed. Another thing that hasn't changed is how much artists are getting paid. After a 20-year break and I was starting to book shows again, they were paying people exactly the same. And I called them out on it. What? Really? And it was a variety of different places. Specifically, like the city summer concert series. Yeah, $700. That's what you paid me in 2001. Yeah. So I also think that it's important that we are transparent about how we're getting paid and how much. Because like if Marie and the Coins are taking gigs for $100, we can say, no. You need to be asking for more so that others, as we are coming up, we can be getting paid more too. Our job as artists is to spread beauty throughout the world. And we deserve to be compensated for that. And not be naked to get attention. Women tend to have to be naked. And in the early 2000s, it was like that, and I never did that. Yeah. Yeah. Did I answer your question? I gave you more information too.
No, I love the insight.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
One final question for you.
Yes,
Where
Katie.
can we listen to your beautiful music?
Everywhere. You could be like my 29th follower on Spotify. Bandcamp is where you can buy my music, and I've got a YouTube, all the things, wherever you want to listen to my music. I invite you to do that.
Pretty sure if you scan the link to it, should pull up links to everyone's information too.
Oh, that's sweet.
Nice to plug yourself to the best spots to find you.
Yeah. And I love Instagram. So following people on Instagram's fun.
Okay, tell us about this last song.
Okay. I've never played it in front of anybody, like in an audience situation. Yes, double clicks. So I'm gonna do it. And it's a love song. I don't write a whole lot of love songs. I was killing time gearing up. So here we go. Let's see. What do you love more than love? Simply hearts bound, tethered together, birds of a feather, a concept profound. Was it just chance, a circumstance? Fate brought you to me, a bond so true it carries through a vast, endless sea. Forever I am tied to you, twists and tangles combined. Our love will stretch and never break. Forever I am tied to you. A love that transcends, never ends, unshaken by the storm. Two souls aligned, forever entwined, a bond imperfectly formed. Forever I am tied to you, twists and tangles combined. Our love will stretch and never break. Forever I am tied to you. 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 Twists and tangles combined, our love will stretch and never break. Forever I am tied to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Who has questions? I know someone here has a question. Yeah.
Sam.
Alright, so who's your biggest musical influence currently and your biggest musical influence of all time?
Currently, it is Evan Stevens Hall from Pine Grove is my favorite. I think he is like the most talented musician right now for me. Yeah, like just lyricism wise, musically wise, I mean, I feel like he takes the cake. Yeah. Yeah, Evan Stevens Hall from Pine Grove. And then all time, I would say I'll have to go with the OG Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam. I feel like he is like he's my guy. You know, I love him. I love Pearl Jam. I grew up on grunge. Well, me and Sam kind of did, but yeah, Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam, I would say for sure. Yeah. So yes.
I think you had said that you, well, maybe both of you, but you played some kind of classic rock, kind of the grunge stuff maybe back
Yeah.
when you were younger. At what point and or maybe why did you start doing a little bit more singer-songwriter?
Honestly, I think it was because like I played bass for probably up until like freshman year in high school, and then I started learning guitar. Sam started kind of teaching me a little bit, and then it slowly evolved into like I had a guitar and I was like making melodies on the guitar, and then it turned into like more of a ownership kind of thing of like I'm writing my own songs. It's like I can make something rather than like bass. It's just like it's an accompaniment. It's obviously like necessary and stuff, but it's like an accompaniment. And then I kind of had it like my own, and I was like, I can be creative with this, and and then it kind of opened up a new world, where it's kind of like a salt shaker, and it's like, yeah, kind of opened up. But yeah, that's probably it. Yeah.
Incredible.
So, yeah.
So when you find a new artist, when you're listening to music, what has to happen when you're listening for you to take time to invest yourself more into this artist?
Dude, that's such a good question, actually. Dang. I would say, like, if I listen to, like, I don't know how you guys listen to music, if you listen to, like, one time through an album or something, but usually, like, if I like a song, I listen to the album, and then if that album does something to me, and I would say, like, usually it's sonically, for some reason, just kind of, like, sounds-wise, and then it's, like, I keep listening to it, and I'm like, okay, this artist definitely has, and then I start from the start of their discography, and then I just go, like, their first thing, if I'm like, this is, like, the artist I want to listen to, kind of thing, and then I just go for it. And then sometimes that works, then it's like, I didn't really like it as much as I thought. And then other times it's like, these are the people, like this group kind of thing. So I would say like that probably like draws me in.
Do you stream music or is it radio? How do you hear that first song?
Stream. I'm on Spotify, so like like if somebody recommends a band or if it's like artists also like this artist, and then that turns into like a whole other set of bands that are like awesome, so yeah.
And then how often are you listening to new music? Do you have a set group of music that you just listen to religiously and then you throw in some other artists? Or are you always trying to listen to new artists and try to find new sounds and new singers?
I always listen to like a new album a day is like my thing. I save one and I'm in the shower and I just play a new album. And I'm like, even if I don't like the genre, I'm like, I'm just gonna give it a shot, with whatever. But I would say I lean back and I always have like a comfort during like in the evening or something like that after I listen through, But I sometimes like force myself to, where it's like there's new music, like, I don't want to just be like, I listen to this album for this many times. But I do that with songs for sure. I'll be like one song, just time and time again, where you just keep playing it over and over again kind of thing. But I try to like, every day for sure, like just try to listen to something new. And I do that by saving albums, and then it's just in my library. So I just kind of go down the line and list and stuff, and I just go. But yeah, that's probably it.
Can we find your music anywhere?
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, like you're saying, like YouTube, Apple Music for your Apple Music listeners. So yeah.
Under Nourishment?
Under Nourishment, yeah, just my
Love
name.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Tell us about this last song.
So this last song is the fifth song, I believe, on my album it was my only album that I've released called Sunseeker. And this is a reflection of the meaning of the album, which is Sunseeker. So it's like sun, S-U-N, Sunseeker, but also S-O-N, Sunseeker. So it's like a dichotomy between like my relationship with Jesus and the sun, like the earthly sun that we have. And this song specifically is about like taking a look at the end of my life and seeing how I lived it and the decisions I made and everything that went through and how I feel about myself if I made all the wrong decisions. So this song is called Graveyard Skies. So hope you guys enjoy.
When I was younger in the heat of summer, a few things crossed my mind, like the duty of a man that's older to walk life straight in line. Always thought they cut it out to be much harder on the soul, but I'm finding out each passing day to listen when I'm told. I'm finding out each passing day to listen when I'm told. And I will hide my hunger thrown down under with lies and all my shame. Crack a cold one, callous, losing balance and all the in-between. And I will fight for things that I don't mean in words I don't believe. Can you tell me about the golden gates? 'Cause I'll die one of these days. Can you tell me about the golden gates? 'Cause I'll die one of these days. And I've sold my life to people who don't know my lies. Now I'm broken inside, so rest me down real low in the graveyard skies. I've spent my time bent on defeating all these men without real blood, 'cause these politics became my god and government his son. Too busy laughing off these clear-cut signs, I'm steady on the road. Can you tell me about the golden gates? 'Cause I'll die for no one. Can you tell me about the golden gates? 'Cause I'll die for no one. But when my days become a thin-set mess and my years a skinny loaf, I lay my eyes above the clouds and skies and ask if I'm enough. But there ain't no use in asking him who knows your kind of love. You're better off believing truth too late beneath the graveyard sun. Better off believing truth too late beneath the graveyard sun. And I've sold my life to people who don't know my lies. Now I'm broken inside, so rest me down real low in the graveyard skies. And I've sold my life to people who don't know my eyes. Now I'm broken inside, so rest me down real low in the graveyard skies.
So, thank you to everybody who played tonight. Yeah, it was awesome playing for you guys, though.
Give it up for yourself.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I've got to go back to standard tuning, so please help me fill this time. Yes.
Oh, all right.
I think you know what I'm gonna ask, but
I want to hear it.
alright. So who's your biggest musical influence at the moment and then of all time? And it's okay if those are both the same answer.
Yeah. That one I was kind of like sitting on the side, like, what are my answers going to possibly be for that? I think at the moment, Madison Cunningham. She is this fantastic songwriter, guitarist, and like I think her lyricism is amazing. She writes and plays these really complex things. And every one of her albums is like really different. And I think that's really nice, where sometimes we can feel like, well, this is what I've done, so now I have to keep doing it this way, whether that's like I play this style or this instrument. And like her newest album, she doesn't play any of the same instruments. She starts playing piano and she's playing like a nylon guitar. She keeps it in the same alternate tuning for the whole album. And I'm like, huh, that's really cool. And so I think she's my current like musical influence. All time, that one's like really hard to try and like conjure up. But I think back to like, what album do I always like bring up if I don't know what else to put on? And I really love Carole King's Tapestry.
Yes.
It's just a classic. It's kind of like an example of really elegant songwriting that is obviously complex but doesn't seem that way. And even though it's on a piano and I'm like a guitarist, there's so much you can learn from it as far as the arrangements. So I'd put her in like maybe like the respect of like lifelong respect for her. Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, I was just wondering, what advice would you give someone who's newer to singing and songwriting and kind of getting out there? And I guess, I know there's like a lot of advice, I'm sure, but like what would you say is something that helped you or that you think is like really important for someone who's
Yes.
new?
I love that question, because I still think of myself as like kind of new. Like this was a pandemic project, was learning guitar and learning how to songwrite. So I know what helped me a lot, and the advice I would give is, one, if there's anyone in your vicinity that you respect and like, reach out to them and get coffee with them. Talk to them about who are their influences, what is their songwriting process like. You might pick up some like little tidbits, like I never would have thought to have one journal that's specific for this thing, or I would have never thought to like listen to this artist. But then if there's musicians that you really like, learn their songs and learn who their influences are. And just like I know for myself, I loved watching interviews of people. So like Madison Cunningham, I studied her a lot when I started learning guitar, and I would watch interviews of her talking, and you'd see her like play something or reference something, and then I'd like new tab in my browser and then like deep dive that. So some of it is like following the curiosity of like who are your influences, but also don't let yourself feel like something is too cheesy to write. I know that like we can maybe all agree there are like times you write something, you're like, nah, that's maybe a little cheesy, or like that's been said before. You still should write it. You should still get that out there. For a while I had like a practice, I called it trash songs. Every day I would write a trash song, and I would set a timer for like 10 minutes, and I'd try and write a verse and a chorus. And like you can't be picky when you're trying to do it in 10 minutes. And like getting the trash song out kind of helped then like open the doors for like what maybe you really wanted to write in like the first place. I don't know if that answers your question. Yeah, I like that question.
I love the trash song.
Yeah, I had
It's true.
Yeah, it's so important.
You have to write a bad song. You
Have to let yourself write the bad songs. I think I need that advice right now. I've been like a little
too.
rigid.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very out there.
Yeah.
So was there a moment in your life, a coming to music moment, where you decided music is my life, I want to pursue this? And was it an external thing or was it an internal thing?
Oh, I like that question too. I think internal has been always there. I've always been doing something in music, whether like band, playing trumpet, or being in choir. I went to school for music. I didn't end in the degree I started, but I was still like following music. I think that the actual like, I need to pursue this the way I want to probably started like in 2020 or 2021 when I started songwriting, and I was like, I do have a voice in this and I want to do something with it. And I moved to the Twin Cities in 2020 and kind of got to like experience some of the music scene once things opened up. And I'm like, this is a place where you can do that. It's not just like a fantasy. Again, I grew up like somewhere where no music venues, you just had your like high school choir and band. That was the music, other than like your friends putting things together. So I think it was like about a year into learning guitar that I had this like, I actually have to really follow this or else I'm gonna be really sad or like longing for something forever. Yeah.
So glad you
I
moved
like that
here.
question. Me too. I've made a lot of good friends. This feels like right. This feels like my home. You know
That's
what I mean?
awesome. It's a bit of a tangent, but we've talked about it before at a venue that it's like there's a stark difference to me before 2020 and now. That like before 2020, I was like oftentimes the only woman anywhere. It felt like playing guitar, and now it's like everyone's out and we're all making friends with each other. I love it. So
Yeah.
more people need to move here right now.
That's made me like super inspired when I was here too. Like it felt like being a woman playing guitar was like a novel thing. And I'm like, but I don't want to be seen that way either. Like I don't want to be treated differently for that. And being here and seeing so many like women and femme people, it's like, this is great. We're all doing it. It's really nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where can we find your music?
You can find my music on all the streaming platforms. I've got one EP out. It's called The Songs You Missed. All like self-recorded and produced, which is really fun. My band Astronomy Town is also on all of those things, if you want to hear some things so far from what this is. But we have fun, so yeah. Okay, I'll do one last song. I've been excited about this one. I do kind of want to like talk about it. So in the theme of being a musician and sort of having an affinity of inspirations and things you want to do, this song kind of came from like some turmoil that I felt when I started playing guitar for real. I was posting a lot of videos on the internet, and that was like my way of like tracking my progress in teaching myself the instrument. And then I started playing live, and I was in these bands, and you get a lot of external comments of like, you're so good at this, or you should try this, or listen to these things. And I got a little bit overwhelmed by that, thinking like, well, I feel a pull this way, but am I going to let people down if I don't go down this path, or if I take a break, you know? Like what expectations am I not meeting was like really starting to get to me. And I also have a million interests. I had like a bluegrass phase, and I'm like, that doesn't align at all with the part of me that's like writing prog and jazzy neo-soul music. None of that aligns either. But long story short, I have a lot of interests, and I kind of hit a point like a couple months ago where I thought, is that going to stunt me? Is that going to keep me from actually ever getting to a place I want to be in music or in songwriting? To the point that I felt like just throwing in the towel. I'm not joking. Like a couple months ago was like, this is all too much to balance, and I have too many interests, and so why be mediocre at so many things? Obviously, I've shaken that, but this song kind of came from that state of like, what if I just gave up, and how would that feel? So why can't I remember what I named this song? When I Give In, that's what it's called. All right, here we go. Oh, it must have been the ledges where I let my feet sway over rivers, building canyons. I'm feeling inspired, I'll do it in a day. Who am I fooling? Do I have the wisdom to slow my flow? Do I have the discipline to stay on a roll? I worry I'm stagnant, but if I lean in, will I wind up at the juncture with a dead end? I worry I'm losing focus and passion. Who's gonna judge me when I give in to giving up? To classify ease from straining, well, I was never so good at defining. Oh, I know I shouldn't be complaining. Oh, my mind is still in training. I'll hit the pavement. Do I have the discipline to hold my tongue? Do I have the courage to admit when I was wrong? I worry I'm stagnant, but if I lean in, wind up at the juncture with a dead end. I worry I'm losing focus and passion. Who's gonna watch me when I give in to giving up? What is the handle that I'm reaching for? Padding round blindly, I'll know it when I find it. I just need another 29 years more. Do I have a vision? Well, that's not really clear. Do you know the experience of wanting there but being here? I worry I'm stagnant, but if I lean in, will I wind up at the juncture with a dead end? I worry I'm losing focus and passion. Who's gonna watch me when I give in?
You made me cry.
Oh no.
Amazing.
Very beautiful song.
Thank you.
Ready to close this out for the evening?
Yep.
Who's got some questions?
Alright, new one. What's the best part and worst part of the songwriting process? Or of writing a song, in general?
What's the best part and the worst part of the songwriting process? That's a good question. Well, the most exhilarating part for me is when you get the idea and when you first get the spark for a song, and it's like you know that there's something there, and before you start, it's always going to be the best thing that's ever been written. Yeah, and then you start. And that's the most exhilarating. The best part I think though is when you get through the worst part, and especially when you at least finish something, when you get far enough on something that you go, this is gonna get finished and I'm gonna like this. And it's not gonna be just junk, because the worst part is the part, and I don't know if this happens to everybody, but inevitably it happens to me in almost every single song that I write. There's a part of it where you are convinced that what you are writing is junk. It's not going to work out. It just wasn't that good of an idea to begin with. You know, I knew it was going to be the best thing ever, but it just wasn't that good. So, you know, and that's why I've had to, you know, really focus on finishing songs, because that's the creative process kicks your butt, or at least it kicks my butt. That's the toughest part. The toughest part is when you're in the middle and you look back at what you got and you're trying to move forward and the direction you're moving isn't working, and you just get you get stuck. And the trick is you gotta stick with it, that's I think that's where the creativity happens, is when the road ends as far as you can see it, and then hopefully you find something new. And the best part then is getting through that and finding the road, finding the path that, you know, that it's not a dead end after all, and going, this is going to work out. I'm going to like this. This is going to be something that makes me excited. So that's my answer for it anyway. Yeah. Yeah.
Similar, or maybe going off of that question, is there a topic that you found to be much harder than the rest to write about?
A topic that's harder than the rest to write about. Like what do you mean by harder?
Well, I know that you like a challenge, right? And there's
Yeah.
certain topics that probably are easier to write about. There's maybe more imagery and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I know you probably have found a topic that maybe is not as easy to write about, but you certainly want to write about it, and you'll figure out a way. What is that topic?
Well, I only write about things that are easy to write about. I don't know. That's an interesting question. And I don't know. I don't know if there's anything specific, but so there are lots of songs I haven't gotten through. There are lots of songs that have beaten me rather than the other way around. So I don't know. I'll think about it. If I come up with it, I'll share. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, he has the first. You go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So I truly think that most musicians have a favorite song.
Yeah.
Deep in all of our hearts, there's one song that is just a shining example of what we think music is. So what's yours?
What's my favorite song? Let's think. Let's think about
Think
that.
fast. Think fast. Answer.
You can't change your mind in the future, by the way.
Well,
That's your answer forever.
there's that song about the doggy in the window.
Yes, there is.
I'm gonna push back. I really don't. I don't think that I have a favorite song. I think that every song kind of does something different, and it's can be hard to compare songs to each other, and come up with a favorite. But through time, in periods of time, I definitely have favorite songs. And right now, my favorite song, although I think I'm moving out of it, is a song called Key West, or Philosopher Pirate, by Bob Dylan in his most recent album, Rough and Rowdy Ways. And the first song that I played, Horizon Line, is really deeply kind of inspired by that song. So that's I guess that's mine right now. Go check it out. Go listen to Old Man Bob. Yeah. Yeah.
So kind of going off your point, what are your thoughts on when it comes to songwriting, inspiration from, say, like a person or a song,
Yeah.
versus your own experience, your own like personal experience with the world, and how does that kind of like come to fruition for you?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought a lot about that. The difference between like what comes from inside of you versus what comes from somebody else or a different artist or whatever. And I've decided that I just don't care.
Good.
Because and the thing is, one of the things you can try to come up with something that's totally your own or something like that over and over again. You can just beat yourself and say, well, that's stolen, or that's not me, or something like that. But I can't write like the people who I want to write like. I just can't. It doesn't matter if I try to write like Townes Van Zandt or like Dylan or somebody else. It's not going to come out that way. Nobody will write like that again, And so Picasso said something along the lines of, steal like an artist. And that's I just, if you like it, rip it. Because nobody else is going to recognize, here's this line that I love, and it makes me feel this way. Well, use that line, because nobody else is going to use that line in that place the same way as you would use that line in that place. And I think it comes down to a matter of trust. You got to trust that you're not, well, you got to recognize and accept that you're not going to write like anybody else. and then you got to trust that you'll write like yourself. So rip what you like, you know, and don't apologize. Nobody knows any of the songs that any of us listen to anyway. So
Where can we find your songs?
nowhere right now. But I'm starting to record my first couple songs within the month here. So you know, you can check me out on social media on Instagram. It's Joe Weckworth, and hopefully you'll see some stuff sometime in the next couple of months to start sharing what I'm doing.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Alright, what's this last tune?
This last one. Well, and lastly, I mean, just thank you to all of you for being here. And thanks for stepping in and hosting. And it's been so fun to get to listen to you guys play. This has been amazing, and I really appreciate that this kind of a thing happens here. So thanks to everybody. This is a song called "Me and the Moon," and I think that's right. It is. Good. I got 1,000 miles of nowhere I've stayed very long. I got 10,000 more that's coming in a handful of songs. An engine that's humming and a trunk that I stuffed full of rhymes. I got miles to make, babe, but I'm banking on making good time. 'Cause no one is traveling tonight but me and the moon. And I don't really mind if I get where I'm going too soon. The wind in my face and the miles behind has a way of making me blue. 'Cause no one is traveling tonight but me and the moon. Well, if time she flies my way, I'll be far from here in a week. I got no reputation or promises that I've got to keep. And there's no one and nothing that can keep me staying behind. It's coming and going, it's got me right down the line. 'Cause no one is traveling tonight but me and the moon. And I don't really mind if I get where I'm going too soon. The wind in my face and the miles behind has a way of making me blue. 'Cause no one is traveling tonight but me and the moon. So when you wake in the morning, you find I'm no longer beside you. When you think about me, when you hit that old road of your own, turn your ear to the whispering wind, your face to the sunrise. And I hope you'll remember me quietly after I'm gone. 'Cause no one is traveling tonight but me and the moon. And I don't really mind if I get where I'm going too soon. The wind in my face and the miles behind have a way of making me blue. 'Cause no one is traveling tonight but me and the moon. 'Cause no one is traveling tonight but me and the moon.
Thank you for coming, everybody. Give it up again for these 4 And if you'd like to donate, I will take cash, or you can scan this QR code. Thank you, Greenway. Thank you, Graham. Thanks, Tony from Uda Pills. All right, get out of here. Get out of here.